Good afternoon. Here is the national news from BGI TV, Baba Bagede Imo TV. I am Morire Rabila Lawal. First are the major headlines for the national news. As regards the 2023 budget, senators fault rising recurrent expenditure. 110 girls neglected in terrorist den, Chibok community. One shot dead as kidnappers strikes in Maitama. Police rescue 67-year-old man locked in room for 20 years in Kaduna. And finally, on sports, Nigeria withdrew from AFCON Beach Soccer Tournament this year. The news in detail. Senators yesterday faulted the increasing recurrent expenditure of the federal government over the years, expressing concern that the government might end up borrowing the workers' salaries. This is just as the National Assembly passed for a second reading the 20.51 trillion naira 2023 appropriation bill presented by President Muhammadu Buhari last Friday. This followed a debate on the general principles of the bill at both chambers. The government had proposed 8.2 trillion naira for recurrent expenditure in 2023, constituting over 43% of the budget. In the 2018 budget, the recurrent expenditure vote was 3.5 trillion naira. It increased to 4.7 trillion naira and 4.8 trillion naira in 2019-2020 respectively. The recurrent expenditure rose to 5.9 trillion naira in 2021 and 6.9 trillion naira in 2022. During the debate on the 2023 budget proposal yesterday, Senator Ali Undume, APC, Borno, called for a thorough investigation into the rising recurrent allocations despite hundreds of workers retiring yearly and embargo placed on employment. Undume said the Senate, by extension, the National Assembly, need to critically look into this time around, more so with the attendant increase in the vote of debts servicing. We must thoroughly look into budgetary proposals made by the executive to prevent a situation of borrowing money of payment of workers' salaries. Similarly, Senator Tolulope of Debi, APC Ogun, described the recurrent expenditure as too high, emphasizing that it must be reviewed downward to get the country out of its quagmire. Moving on to the next story as regards Chibok girls. The Chibok Area Development Association, also known as Chibok Community, on Wednesday raised the alarm over the neglect of the over 100 schoolgirls abducted by Boko Haram terrorists in 2014. They said since the mass abduction of the 276 of their daughters in April 2014, wherein 57 escaped on their own, 110 of them are still unaccounted for. According to them, the release of the remaining Abuja Kaduna train attack victims had shown clearly that the federal government had abandoned Chibok community, including their children that were abducted in Chibok Girls Secondary School, Borno State. The national president of CADA, Dauda Ilia, said the matter of the abducted Chibok girls and the unhindered attacks on their communities were still persistent. He was reacting to the statement by the Secretary, Chief of Defense Staff, Action Committee, Professor Usman Yusuf, that all the 23 remaining passengers abducted from the Kaduna-bound train on March 28, 2022 had been released by their abductors. Ilya said the issue of the abandonment of the Chibok girls has come forth again following the release of the remaining abducted train victim, largely due to efforts of the federal government and especially the military under the Chief of Defense Staff, Loki Irabo. The statement in particular has caused the Chibok people pain and caused us despair and a deep feeling of neglect and abandonment by the federal government. It said that despite not releasing their girls, the Chibok community had been facing an unprecedented attacks from terrorists. The latest attack in Chibok happened only on October 3, 2022 in Nyalang, a village just 5 kilometers away from Chibok, he concluded. Moving to the next story. It's coming from Insecurity as well. At least one person was gunned down when the men suspected to be kidnappers invaded Ghana Street of Maitama area of the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja. It was learned that the incident happened around 8:46 p.m. on Wednesday. A resident who pleaded anonymity told Daily Trust that the victim was killed while trying to rescue a man that was being forced into a black Prado SUV Jeep by the suspected kidnappers. He specifically said the SUV was parked at number 44 Ghana Street, where the victim was shot in the head by one of the suspects and he died immediately. The source added that the suspect escaped with their victim while the body of the deceased was still on the streets at the time of the incident. According to him, this is the second incident happening on the same Ghana Street in the past few weeks. The resident said some persons loitering around the place may be behind the attacks. He said the boys loitering around area usually targets pharmaceutical stores and supermarkets in Maitama, alleging that the police have not been doing anything to scare and secure supermarket and pharmaceutical stores. When contacted, spokesperson of the police in the FCT command, Josephine Ade, who also confirmed the development to correspondent on ground, said the police had already launched manhunt for the assailant. Ade, a deputy superintendent of police, dismissed the allegations that police have not been doing anything to secure supermarkets within the community and the area. Moving on to the next story in Kaduna State. A 67-year-old man, Ibrahim Ado, locked up in a room for over 20 years in Kaduna, had been discovered by environmental health officers of Kaduna North local government area who were in the house on official duty. DSP Mohammed Jalige, the state police command spokesperson, said the police rescued the man on Wednesday. According to him, the man was found naked and locked up in a room at a house located at Bayajida Road in Kaduna. Residents of building fled when a police team arrived at the house. Jalige explained that a thorough investigation would be conducted to get to the root cause of the matter. He said that according to an eyewitness, the environmental officers visited the house on Wednesday morning to check some beverages stored in the area, but discovered a man locked in the room. He added that according to a source, the man had been restricted to the room for over 20 years. He said that environmental officers reported to the Magajingari Police State Division and Commissioner of Police directed personnel to evacuate the victim. The police spokesperson pointed out that the commissioner also directed a full-scale investigation of the matter to unravel the circumstances surrounding the issue and why the man was kept in isolation for so long. Going to the final story coming from sports. In less than 2 weeks, the beautiful town of Bøkø in Mozambique will host Africa's premium beach competition, Beach Soccer Africa Cup of Nations Mozambique 2022, with the kickoff match being played on the 24th October 2022. CAF has released a revised fixture for the competition following the withdrawal of Nigeria. The withdrawal of Nigeria will see 7 teams now compete for the ultimate prize at the 5th edition tournament. Host Mozambique, Malawi, Morocco are the 3 teams in Group A. While 4 teams make up Group B, there is Senegal, Uganda, Madagascar, and Egypt. The Beach Soccer Africa Cup of Nations will kick off on 21st October in Bøkø Arena with a match between host Mozambique, 2021 African runners-up, and Malawi, whose participation is the first time. The Beach Soccer final will take place on 28th October, same year, 2022. That concludes the national news from BGI TV. Before we go, some major headlines. 2023 budget, Senators fault rising recurrent expenditure. We also brought to you 110 girls neglected in terrorist den, Chibok community laments. 1 shot dead as kidnappers strike in Maitama. And finally, on sports, Nigeria will withdraw from African Beach Soccer Tournament this year. For more updates on YouTube, our handle is Baba Bagide Imo TV. Kindly subscribe, click on the notification bell, select option all to access our broadcast. On Facebook, Bagide Imo with Alawiye Adebayo. Please like and follow the page. On Instagram, Bagide Imo _22. For advert placement of your goods and services, coverage of events and functions, please dial the phone number streaming on your screen for advert placements only. Thank you for watching. I am Moribe Rabila Lawal. Good afternoon.